You know what time it is. It's Kareem Brown time here at Angel Park. As you can see, it's a beautiful day. It's a little windy, but I'm enjoying it. It's nice out. I highly recommend if you guys are at home, come outside. Get involved with the game. Hop on the putting course, play Cloud 9, get our mountain and palm, or just come out here, grab a drink, join me on the patio. It's a beautiful day. But I want to get to the main point today. We got Kendel Hodges coming on the show at Golf at the Park. He's a phenomenal golfer, clean, polished guy, so you don't really have to worry about any profanity on today's show, and it's going to be amazing. Love this guy. Enjoy the show. I'll see you guys next time.
Hello, Las Vegas, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Golf at the Park, Angel Park's weekly interview show. Thank you very much for liking this video and subscribing to our channel. Today, we'd like to welcome Kendel Hodges to the show. Kendel, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Kendall's got a fun story, and it starts a little young. He's still very young. So we're just going to start from the beginning. I know you don't start actually in golf. You were very athletic young, so let's start there.
Yeah, so growing up, I was a basketball player. I grew up. I played five different sports. I tried them all, but basketball was kind of our thing. Me and my three brothers. My dad, he kept us with a ball in our hands from the time we were, 4 until
Yeah,
all
when
the
you
way
say you
through.
were playing basketball young, you were playing basketball young.
Young. And so shoot, let's just get into it. To start there, I'm actually a cancer survivor. So when I was 8 months old, I was diagnosed with rhabdomyosarcoma. And it's rhabdomyosarcoma. It's a cancer of the connective tissue and bone marrow. And so from the time I was 8 to 22, I was in the hospital going through chemo. Luckily, didn't have to go through radiation, but I was going through chemo.
That's 8 months to 22 months.
To 22 months, so like about a year and a
Baby,
half.
yeah.
I was a baby. I was playing one day, and my mom, she noticed a bump on my leg, and she said, "Hey, let's get this checked out," and got it checked out. They went in, checked it, and initially, it was benign, and I said, "Okay, all right, we'll just go remove it." And then I guess a couple days later, they called and said, I guess the doctor was crying on the phone. He said, hey, I'm sorry to tell you, but your child, Kendall, he has cancer. They said it's malignant, and so we were in San Diego at that time. My parents both went to San Diego State, originally from LA, and so they had moved out there. So we were living there, and my mom, she wasn't working at the time, but my dad was. For that time in my life, from that 8 to 22 months, we lived in the hospital, kind of back and forth. And then my grandma was with us, so everybody took shifts, just kind of watching me and my younger brother, because I was, however old I was, and my younger brother, he was born, how old is he? It's like 12 months younger than me, so, or 14. He's 14 months younger than me, so they were just taking shifts, basically taking care of the babies. And my older brother, he's 8 years apart from me, so he was kind of in that like 11, 12 range. So he was kind of able to do his own thing, kind of live at the house and live back and forth. But yeah, that's what was going on there.
And then you play competitive, so you get better, luckily.
Yep.
And you start playing very serious competitive basketball at 4.
Yep.
And that goes up until around 8 or 9, and then you have more tragedy.
Yeah, so I beat that, and then, I was a healthy kid, super healthy, super active, played everything, like I said, and then we got super competitive in basketball. I mean, Pops when I was 6, I was playing with the 8 and 9-year-olds. So I was playing a couple years up, and we were traveling. We played tournaments in Portland, Vegas, kind of around the West Coast.
AAU ball.
AAU ball, yeah. So we were, and it was serious. And we played 5-6 days in a game, 6 games in a day. Super, super serious, and I loved it. I was really good. I was initially I was always small as a kid, so initially was more of like a shooting guard. I was a 3-point specialist, so I was just sitting at the corner, and I was that little guy, so they weren't really, watching me, but I kind of lean in and then pop out at that 3 and then toss it to me, and that's what I did. So was playing shooting guard, was really good, and then about that 9 to 10, 11 range, I started to learn the point guard position. And I started to really take off there. That's when I started to kind of see the game at a different place. And I think that's really when my dad was he was about to kind of take my game to the next level. But was hit with, you have cardiomyopathy. After just a normal checkup. I mean, we go, again, just had checkups my life since the cancer, just went in, everything's normal. And they said, your reading's kind of off. And we're like, they said, yeah, your ejection fraction is about half of what it should be, about what the normal person is. And we're like, okay, what does that mean? They're like, no basketball. At that time, it was about a year of
soul crushing.
Yeah, depression, because as a kid, I feel like that was all I really had. Like that was what I did. We dribbled. We got in trouble for dribbling in the store. We dribbled in the store. We dribbled outside. We dribbled to the park. We dribbled in the house. Got in trouble from moms. We had a basketball in our hands all that time.
You were going to be Kobe Bryant, right?
That's what we were trying. That's who we were trying to be. That's literally who we were trying. We wanted to be Kobe. We wanted to be AI. We wanted to be Melo. That's literally like my brothers, and we used to dress like it too. Like that's who we wanted to be. So that's all I knew at that time too. I didn't. My dad, he's a basketball player. All my brothers play basketball. So that's all we knew.
And then they give you the option of swimming or golf, right?
Swimming or golf. And I have a neighbor, and they give me an old beat pair of hair clubs. They literally have masking blue tape on them, and duct tape on a couple heads. But I went for a little clinic, just a super simple junior clinic. And just got attached to it. I got the club in my hand, and I just felt like same thing as basketball. I was naturally athletic, and I was always able to, whatever I was doing, see a technique and just kind of figure it out. So I just figured it out quick. And my coach, about 6 months into the junior clinics, he kind of noticed. He said, "Hey, you want to think about private lessons?" And my parents were like, "Whoa, we're dishing out for these."
Yeah,
these camps already,
Yeah.
like especially, even basketball wasn't cheap at that time, but comparatively to golf, it was nothing. Literally, my dad was like, "Yeah, basketball is nothing compared to this." And so he's like, "Hey, you want to try, the lessons?" And so I tried the individuals, and he was just like, "Man, the kid's just natural at it, And his name's Steve. Shout out to Steve Adamiak. PGA. And he just. I don't know. I think from I got lucky because me and him had a special bond and connection. I've always been a good student. I've tried to be. I don't think I was as much as a kid as I am now, obviously. But I was a good student. I really always tried to focus when someone was teaching me. I really focused and keyed in. And I think Steve just told me all the right things, and he didn't tell me too much or too little. I think that was the thing. I think especially looking at some of the coaching that I see now, there's a lot of too much in this sport. So he just kind of put me in that space at that age group to really just have the technique, but still kind of let my feel and just let me grow into it. And so I got going with the sport, and just from there kind of just really took off with it.
Well, this is interesting to me because we're going to go back to your size again that was hurting you when you were playing basketball. So you start high school golf, and your freshman year, you told me you were how tall?
5'3".
5'3" your freshman year.
I'm like 6'1", almost 6'2" now.
But you're a pretty good little player.
I'm a good player.
Yeah.
I'm a good little player. Again, golf courses are long at that time. I have I'm wearing people out. I used to have this old white headed TaylorMade TP hybrid. I mean, I'm wearing people out with 5 hybrids. I mean, I'm working you to death. So golf course is long and it's work. And so I just, at that time too, I mean, that competitive basketball in me, I'm still kind of a kid. So I really was like, I wouldn't say I had an arrogance to me, but I was pretty damn confident in what I was doing. Not good enough to back it up at that time, I think, but I was pretty confident in what I was doing. Yeah, and then I literally woke up one day and I said, Mom, I don't know what happened, but like, she's like, dang, you did get taller. I was like, I got taller. And I was like, we measured me up and she was like, dang, you're like 5'11". I was like, yeah. And Pops is not a golfer, mind you. Pops is a great dad, super supportive, but he don't know golf. So he has no idea. He's like, yo, like what? I mean, at this time, I'm kind of starting to struggle too in between that growth
You got to
period.
change your swing.
Got to change swing. I got to change clubs. I mean, just everything has changed. And he's like, well, what's going on? And then he didn't know. We didn't know. I mean, I probably didn't figure it out until a year later that it was the equipment that was kind of throwing me off. It was just too short. So going through all these changes, but I'm getting better, you know. And so by the time I had that growth spurt, I kind of was at a place where I was like, okay, we could probably get a scholarship in this, you know. We're definitely good enough for sure. And
you were looking at some D1 schools?
Yeah, looking at some D1s. At that, so like at sophomore year, I was starting to get looks because I qualified I played in the Junior PGA Championship twice, and I played in Junior Worlds like my junior year. So from the looks from the Junior PGA and just some of the tournaments that I had playing in Southern California, because in junior golf it was all, I don't know if it still is at that time, but it was Junior Golf Scoreboard. Like that was the bar for everything. And so at that time I was kind of like in the 500 to 700 range, which is decent enough to get some looks. But I started to play better and get in that top 200, and so that's when I started to get looks my like sophomore year. But I know that I'm probably not gonna get to a D1 because all I'm looking at these kids, I'm like, dang, everybody's already committed or signed to the bigger high level. I was just at a weird place where I know I want to play golf, but is this what we should lock in on? Is this what we want to do? But I kind of figured this is what we want to do.
And you end up getting a full ride?
End up getting a full ride to Cal Baptist. And I was blessed to have that because the looks that I was going to have at some of the other places, like I took an official visit to Kansas, and none of them were the right fit. So to have the full ride in Southern California, only 45 minutes from my parents, kind of was just a no-brainer.
Made sense.
Made sense. So I went there, and at that time, that's when I felt like until about now, I was at that most confident stage in my life. I was really, really focused, really confident, and I kind of knew that I felt it in me that my game was about to go to a next level.
Yeah,
so.
And we're going to get to where you kind of have a crisis of the game. But so you have 1 year at Cal Baptist, and your grades, you struggle with your grades a little bit, but I want to go to what happens next because you end up at a community college, a really good community college in Phoenix. Tell us that story.
Grades slip up. End up at a community college in Phoenix after I moved home for a year. Worked at Journey of Pachanga, outside services. Really nice facility. I was lucky enough to. They let me. It was a pretty tight facility, so I was able to practice and play somewhat limitedly. But I got a decent amount of golf in between then. And at that time, I was still pretty focused on getting back to a school. To play golf, not just to get my degree. So got my grades up, and then transferred over to South Mountain out in Phoenix, Arizona.
And who was your coach that brought you in there?
Met a guy, his name was Andy Walker, and then he left me that summer. but he left me with a really good coach named Aaron Pitts. And so I had Aaron coach me that year. That would have been 2019, or no, 20. This timeline's crazy. 2018.
2018, and Phoenix is a perfect place for golf, especially on the West Coast.
Perfect place. It's warm. I mean, it's hot during the summer, and the winter was at that time pretty mild. And so we had facilities, and I had fun too. Like I feel like I had a good balance of life there. There was a lot of a good amount of fun and golf.
And you had a good team.
And had a really good team. The team that I played on, I think 7 of the 11 went to either a D1 or a D2 school.
Wow.
Continued on, which at a community college is just crazy. Won a national title that year. I struggled personally. Just had lost a lot of confidence in myself and in my game. I felt like, after everything had happened, just having the full ride, going to work outside at a golf course, then kind of getting back into it. Mentally, I wasn't.
It's a roller coaster.
Yeah, it's just like all over the place. But at the same time, I know we talk about this a lot. Like, I felt like that confidence in myself was just not there at that time. So in that moment, in that place, the effort and the energy towards doing what we needed to do was there, but the confidence just wasn't.
Well, I loved
speaking.
what you said to me earlier. You live in the present. You're very good at that, but you're also a futuristic thinker and planner. So that has to be difficult when you're experiencing so many ups and downs.
Correct. Yeah, I'm experiencing all these ups and downs, and but I'm telling myself, I mean, every day in the back of my head, I'm telling myself, like, I see the future. Like, I see, like, I literally would close my eyes, literally sit there, close my eyes, and say, all right, we just gotta stay at it though. Like, I know that. I know I'm, again, very future, but I'm a very realistic thinker too. So I know, I'm like, there has to be up and downs. Like, if there was no ups and downs, then everybody would be there. So if we weather these ups and downs, then eventually the storm can only last for so long. So I was really pushing through that. Like I said, I had one round, my parents came to watch me. I think I shot like 88, 91. I mean, I think I ran out of balls. I literally ran out of balls. And I forgot it was a tricky USGA rule. I think you were able to get a ball. I got a ball from somebody, or I found one, but I literally had to play. I think I'll never forget this. I played a Titleist velocity in the last 8 holes. And there was a couple holes where I literally I took 4-iron off the tee and chipped it like 150 yards just to get it out there. So was just at a real low. But in that, I enjoyed it. I'll say that. In that struggle, I think I did my best to find a way to enjoy it, because I don't think there was any way that, knowing myself, that if I did not enjoy that, at least somewhat, that I would have been able to get through it, because it was such a loaded, to go from having an average of 71, 72 to, I mean, blowing up, literally blowing up, making 10s on the card. I mean, it was like, yo, this is, I don't know, Dad. Hey, Pops, I don't know.
And you end up going back to Southern California again.
End up going back, and so went to Dominguez Hills in Carson. I lived with 3 dudes on the baseball team. We lived in Torrance. And at that time, still trying to get it together, because it was so up and down. I mean, it was almost a month-to-month thing. It felt like my game would be cool one month and it wouldn't be the other. So I played some decent, like, summer tournaments going into that year at Dominguez. And then even going into qualifying, like, the game felt good, but the mind just was not there. And so I only went to school for about 5 or 6, probably 5 months there. And then just made the decision that, I had done enough school. I know a lot about golf. I think I want to just get into golf to make money. And at that time, I was burnt out. I had pushed through. I felt like I pushed myself to the limit. I mean, because from going in, I went to Cal Baptist in 2017, played real good golf. 2018 was still playing decent golf, and then to have 2018, 2019, just to have those 80s and 85s and 89s. And Pops even signed me up for a country. I told him, I was like, hey, can you sign me up for a club? Like, can you make this, the sacrifice? I feel like I really just need to go to a country club and just maybe just be able to get away and play golf for like 6 months and figure it out. Would go to the club and literally, like, I mean, I was hitting houses. Literally, I mean, I'd go to and like I'd play with my buddies and shoot like 85, 88. I'm like, I don't know where the ball's going. I really, at that time, I would step up to a tee shot, look at it, and say, I don't know where the ball's going. So, yeah, it was just it was so hard. Me and my dad, we still have conversations about. I mean, I probably talked to him about a week ago about it. It's just that time was so hard. Like I don't even, looking at it now, it had to have been the futuristic thinking and just that positive, present self. I think that's the only thing that could have got me through it, because that just was not okay. It wasn't acceptable. I couldn't stomach it. I really couldn't. I couldn't even go to the golf course. It's hard to even talk about. I couldn't even. There was days I'd literally sit in the parking lot and be like, "Yo, I want to practice today, but like, this is hard. I don't know where the fuck the ball's going."
Yeah.
So
tell us about your job now. I think it takes about another year, but you start working in golf in LA, but you also start thinking about transferring to Vegas. So why don't you tell us about how you end up here?
yeah. So I'm in LA. I started working as a cashier at the Roger Dunn over in West LA. And I just knew that I knew golf, so I figured, why not get a job in golf? I don't know what I want to do with it yet. Maybe we can do PGA later. Ran through all these scenarios, but I was like, we'll figure it out. I'm young. So started working there, and after about 5 months, my boss made me a club fitter, and about 2 or 3 days before he made me a club fitter, I decided to move to Las Vegas. Meant like on my own terms.
So
like
you had an opportunity for a career path in golf as a fitter, which is a good. I mean, if you had stuck with that, that would have been one way to go.
Correct.
But you had already decided to come here.
Correct. And I'm in West LA at a huge. I mean, a store at the second biggest store that we have in the company. So money's coming in. So financially, I mean, looking at it, I was licking my chops. I'm 21. I'm like, this is pretty good. Like, I can't. To leave school and to find this opportunity, I don't know if I can turn it down, but I just had other plans for myself. I wanted to move away from my situation. I want to move away from my parents, and it had nothing to do with the home that I had. I grew up in a great home. I love my parents to death, but the things that I wanted for my life and what they wanted, they just did not align. But we had such a good relationship that I felt like I couldn't burn that. And I felt like to do that, I felt like I had to do it my own way.
Right.
So I told them, like, hey, this is what I want to do. I'm moving to Las Vegas. They said, Las Vegas? Why? And I was like, well, I can work here and I can get a membership at a country club, and I can just get away and do my thing, because at one point I was like, I've been in 5 cities in less than 4 years. I haven't been able to just feel like I really calling anywhere place home since I've been
especially your own,
with you
because
guys.
you were going to school or back home with
Correct. So I'm back and forth. So I was like, I want my own thing. Like, I was like, I want me. And I was like, I feel like, yeah, I'm young and I'm 21. And yeah, I don't, I don't have the degree, and I didn't get to these places that, we necessarily thought or we all probably saw, we talked about. But this is what I'm going to do. Like, and it was pretty, like, I really had a man-to-man conversation with my pops. I said, this is what I'm going to do. I'm gonna work here. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. Even when I dropped out of school, I told him this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do it this way, and he said okay, and I did it.
You
And
transferred here to Vegas Golf Superstore.
transferred here.
You got a little membership at Spanish Trail.
Yep.
And so now you're back kind of playing, working in the game.
Yep.
So how's that progressing?
So I mean, at that time, I think having the break of golf from, I probably didn't play for 8 or 9 months. To have that break, I feel like it reset me, and so I was just on this real. I was just focused on getting better. I think I don't know if I really had an end goal at that time or that moment. And I'm very goal oriented, and I really try to see the future. I didn't really know where I was going. I think at that point, I just knew that I was trying to move forward somewhere, and just keep moving. I think that was the thing. I felt like I was like, if I quit now, I was like, this is where at that place in my life where I feel like I don't figure out what my purpose is, and just feel like things could go wrong. So I really was just like, let's just lock in on just getting better and moving forward. I don't know where what we're doing or where this is going to take us, but I just felt like, deep down my intuition told me like I feel like this is what we need to be doing. So I was just grinding, getting better. Wasn't focused on tournaments, wasn't really focused on a goal. And then after about 6 months, I kind of woke up and I was like, you're good. You're really talented. But you can't do this until you figure out your mind. And I was just trying to figure out, because I'm like, yo, at the times that I was good, why was I good? Like, what? Like, why? Like, I don't, you know what I mean? It wasn't like I was hitting it that much better, or like, I probably hit it better now than I did then. And I know my game better now. So, like, why aren't the results showing? And I think it came down to my mind and the confidence. And so, well, I decided to turn pro.
Was that a year and a half ago?
That would have been beginning of 2021, so almost
2 years ago.
Almost 2 years ago. Yeah, so 2 years ago. But not with the real goal, I would say. Just trying to see where we were at. I kind of played some tournaments, and I was kind of early on. I was like, yeah, we need to be doing this golf thing. This is what I feel like. This is what my purpose was. I feel like everything that's gone on in my life, I feel like this all come full circle, and this is what we need to do. We just got to get focused, and we just got to change, how we're doing things. And so I think that's when I really, I don't know, I feel like there was just a change in me and how I did things. I learned to, I just know too many guys who can shoot a score. When we go play them, play right now, they'd go shoot 64. But when they come to a tournament, they'll shoot 78, because there's certain things about tournament and professional golf that are different.
Sure.
There's differences. The golf courses are set up different, so your strategy has to be different. And if you want to score, you're gonna have to learn certain shots and ways to get it around when you're not playing well. And I think that was the biggest thing. It was learning not the good days, but it was learning to be better on my worst days.
Yeah.
And then I feel like once I started to get in those events, it was like, dang, my bad day feels a lot better now. And I feel like once my bad day got to a place where it was that, like, I didn't play well today, but I shot like 74, 75. I was like, okay, this is maybe I'm gonna be okay. Maybe we can ride this out and kind of maybe get serious and more focused on the direction and path that we want to go down.
Yeah, that's great. It's super interesting. Let's talk about clubs. What are your favorites? What's in your bag? What are you playing?
Ooh, I got a mixed bag. I'm a free agent. I got a Scotty. I'll start from putter down, because I love putter. So I got a Scotty putter. I have a 2016 Newport 2 that I've had with me since I got it in college. my freshman year, and that was the first. I've only putted with 3 putters. That was one that I gamed up until this year. I just bought a new putter like a month ago. And so now we're in this Newport 2 Plus. I have an event coming up at TPC Vegas Monday, Tuesday, and I think we're going to throw it in the bag.
Fun.
So I got that coming in. We got some Ping Glide Forge wedges. I got P7 T-Dub irons. I have Strixon 3-iron utility. We got a U-Wood, Callaway U-Wood, and I've got a M5 3-wood and a Stealth, kind of going back between the Stealth 1 and the Stealth 2 driver, the Plus model, 9 degree. And then in those shafts, I've got X100s wedged through the irons, and then I go into Velocore Blue in my 3-iron, and then I have Velocore Black in my U-Wood and 3-wood. And then shout out to Jason Landry. He sent me from US Team EMEA, he sent me a Link white shaft that I've got, 70
nice.
X-Flex. And that's changed the game for me. I've gained probably 12 yards of carry consistently. So that's what's in the bag right now. And then we also got a Vessel TaylorMade bag. Shout out to TaylorMade.
Yeah, and Vessel, Mike, the video wizard, does some work with Vessel, so that's fun too. We already talked a little bit about Kobe and Mello and Iverson. Why don't we transition to golf? When did you start paying attention to golfers and the tour? Was it Tiger? Was it later?
I mean, so when I started golf, that was in 2007, and Tiger was kind of at the end of his prime.
Yeah, so it was more Rory and those guys?
Yeah, so I initially, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, Tiger's my favorite player. He always will be. But I think the game changed too. And this is something that I really was able to notice. The equipment changed. People don't realize the equipment had changed from 2008 to now. The golf ball and just the way, and especially being a club fitter, I understand it now, seeing some of the old stuff. Things changed. So watching the modern swings, I felt like, yeah, Tiger's swing was perfect. The Rorys and I don't know if even DJ was around yet. I think it was more of the Rory and Ricky.
Yeah, Ricky Fowler.
Because growing up in Temecula, Ricky was the city over. I mean, he's the guy. He's literally a legend. I still to this day when I go home, I hit balls at Marietta Range, and you just see Ricky's stuff with the signed and the autograph, and I mean he is a hometown hero there. So
that's fun.
Really, Ricky was at that time. Ricky was the energy, but Tiger was always been my favorite player. He's the GOAT.
This is a difficult question for some people. What are some of the things that you aren't crazy about the game of golf, or is there anything you would change, or what do you think could be better with golf?
What do I think is better in golf? I mean, just first and foremost, I mean, being an African American, I think diversity. That's like the biggest thing.
It comes up a lot.
Yeah, I think diversity is the thing that I would like to see moving forward. And I know there's a lot of things being done, but I want to just see more. And just going off that, the tour that I play on, the APGA tour, it's called the Advocates Pro Golf Tour, and that's a tour. It was built in. They got it together in around 2010, 2008, and I played as a junior initially with those guys, and so now I'm on the tour 10 years later, but they are they're leaders in finding the best talent of minorities and giving us an opportunity to play at these TBC courses and top courses around the country, and to be able to compete for a good purse and good prize money, and to just give us an opportunity.
What a great tour.
Yeah, amazing tour. Like I said, I'm playing next week at TPC Vegas, but they've really given us an opportunity to, because when I talk about things, I'm a very much I look at that end goal. I'm shooting for the stars. So, and I feel like they're one of the few, as far as the diversity situation, where they're shooting for the stars. They're getting PGA Tour exemptions. They're getting Corn Ferry Tour exemptions because this is something that have never had as a minority. We've never ever had these types of things. So they're really reaching towards getting us going and actually out there. And I think, people talk about things, but, to really see the action that tour is doing is incredible.
Yeah, that probably leads us right into, because this could be one of them. But what are some of the things you love about golf? What's your favorite thing about golf?
I love that it's on me. That's my favorite part about it. It's on me. Everything about it is on me. If something went wrong, that was my fault. And I can't blame anybody. Even having a caddy, at the end of the day, I'm pulling the trigger. So I absolutely love that aspect, and I feel like that's helped me in my life because golf keeps me so honest and realistic. But also like that balance of positivity and a hair of arrogance, right? Just a hair,
Just
right?
a hair?
Just a hair, not too much, right? Because you get too arrogant in golf, it shows you who it really is. But just a hair of arrogance and obviously confidence. I don't know. I absolutely love that aspect of it. What I don't like about the game.
Well, we covered that because we covered diversity, so you don't have to.
But
come
I'm
up,
talking
or do you have
about
another
playing.
one?
Yeah, playing wise, I would say I hate hitting draws with a driver. Like that's like my least favorite part of the game. Like the fact that, especially modern drivers, they're impossible to draw. Being a fitter, I kind of understand it. It's all about the backspin. But I hate that modern drivers are really difficult to draw because that's all I see. So if I have to hit a draw, it's with a 3-wood. I feel like that's my biggest complaint about golf. But
That's interesting insight because I didn't know that.
yeah, everything. I mean, if the spin rates have dropped, I started fitting about 3 or 4 years ago. Even from the time that I started fitting, when you get into a forgiving head, those forgiving heads of 4 years ago spin as much as the low spin models did back then. It's all about spin rate. So it makes it really hard when they're trying to get the distance. But as a player, to try to hit a draw and those drivers only spin like at 1800, it gets dangerous with the snap hook. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's something that I just don't like about golf. I hate snap hooks.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's fun. I really appreciate you coming in, Kendel. And that's going to lead us to the second part of the show. We call it our Par 5. We ask the same 5 questions to every guest and check out all the different answers. So are you ready?
Ready to go.
All right, here
Let's
we go.
do it.
Question number 1. What's your favorite golf movie?
Ooh, favorite golf movie? I think it's got to be... Oh, it's got to be Tin Cup.
Yeah.
It's got to be Tin Cup.
That's
I
mine.
go back and forth between Tin Cup and Happy Gilmore, but I think Tin Cup is just brilliant. I mean, when that dude's on the range with all his headgear on,
so good.
there's so many moments. I love it. So I think it's got to be Tin Cup.
Yeah, when he gets the shanks, that's so awesome. I love that movie a lot. Question number 2. What's your favorite club in your bag and why?
Ooh, man. I would have to say my Callaway U-Wood. I have a 19-degree Callaway U-Wood. I play as my 5-wood, and it is my trouble club. I can hit it about 270 off the tee. I can hit it anywhere from 230 to 260 into a green. I can hit a stinger with it. I can hit it up in the air. I can cut it, draw it. But it seems like if I want to just hit it straight, it just seems to do that. So. And it's the most versatile out of any lie. Like that club, I would say that's the one that I put that in the bag probably about a year ago, and it's probably saved me like a shot or two around just because I'm able to get it off the tee and do what I need to do into the par 5.
Great.
So,
Question number 3, maybe my favorite question. What's your dream foursome? So if you could pick any 3 people, alive or dead, to play golf, who would you pick? And then what golf course would you play?
So it would have to be my pops, Tiger, and we got to bring back Arnie. We got to bring Arnie back.
Arnold Palmer,
Yeah, we gotta
designer of Angel Park.
Yeah, we got to bring Arnie back.
That's a great answer.
Yeah,
we haven't had him yet.
Absolute legend. And what course would we play?
Yeah, where would you go?
Torrey Pines.
Torrey Pines.
Torrey Pines all day. That's, I think, my favorite golf course probably in the
Close
world.
to home.
Close to
yeah.
home, on the cliffs, public golf course. The
Legendary
history.
course. Legendary course.
It's the first PGA Tour tournament I went to was the 2008 U.S. Open. I was on 18 and I watched Tiger sink that putt.
Oh, wow.
Forgot about that. That's another moment that made me be like, yo, golf is sick. Like,
Yeah.
So, he, that.
You were young.
Yeah,
How old were you?
I was 2008. I'm 24 now. So I think I was like 8 or 9.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
Question number 4. What's your aiming fluid? I'm guessing that you're not drinking alcohol on the course, but
No.
what do you drink, and what kind of snacks are you eating? What are you taking care of your body on the golf course?
What am I drinking on the golf course? I drink coconut water, spring water, and I'll do body armor no sugar. And then if I have to eat something, I like beef jerky. And I like granola bars. So beef jerky, granola bars with not a lot of sugar on it. I like sugar, so I don't know. As a golfer, it's something that's just horrible because it's probably the worst thing for you. So really, just trying to stay away from the sugar unless I'm getting it from the fruit. So
smart.
So yeah.
Question number 5, our last question of the show, and the time in the show where we may no longer be PG rated. So there's your warning. Question number 5 is, when you let the anger get the best of you on the course, when you're really upset with yourself, do you have one word or phrase that you tend to repeat more than others? Because most golfers do.
It comes from my coach. My coach,
it's a hand-me-down.
It comes from my coach Fred, I'm working with now, and he tells me all the time. He says, "You're not good enough to get mad.
Ooh, I like that.
You're not good enough to get mad."
I think that was Alan Blake's answer. He said, "I don't really swear because if I were to, I'd just get more mad at myself because I don't practice enough to be that angry about it."
And even being someone who practices enough, not good enough to get
Great
mad.
answer.
So,
God, that's a great answer.
Yeah.
Kendel, thank you so much for coming on.
I appreciate it.
That was really
man.
fun.
I had a good time.
Thank you for watching. We really appreciate it. And until next time, hit 'em straight from your friends at Angel Park. Cheers.